Welcome to Let's Read Mobile, presented by the Boys and Girls Club of South Alabama. I'm Dr. Charlotte Pence. I direct the creative writing program at the University of South Alabama, and I'd like to read you a new story tonight. This book is called The History of Juneteenth by Dr. Arlisha Norwood, and I'm reading from Chapter 5, Jubilee Day. Early celebrations. African Americans decided to celebrate the day that General Granger arrived in Galveston and enforced General Order No. 3. On June 19, 1866, Black people in Galveston gathered to celebrate the first anniversary of their freedom. At first, they called June 19 Jubilee Day. A jubilee is a special celebration for an anniversary. The early gatherings often included food and music. People cooked traditional foods like barbecue. They also ate summer dishes like watermelon. They made a special red drink by mixing strawberries and lemonade. The red color reminded them of the suffering they had faced during slavery. In some places, the celebrations included people reading the Emancipation Proclamation out loud. The gatherings were usually held in community spaces like parks and churches. There were parties and parades with singers, dancers, and decorated carriages. Many of the early celebrations also focused on civic engagement. Civic engagement is people getting together to support important causes. Black Texans wanted to celebrate freedom, but they knew freedom came with responsibilities. Even though Black people were free, they still faced racism. Black leaders held rallies and events on Jubilee Day to support equality for Black people, not just freedom. Next section, making history. Over time, Black people started to call Jubilee Day Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a shortened version of June 19th. The celebrations continued to grow. Black community leaders often ran into problems when they tried to celebrate Juneteenth. Even after the 13th Amendment became part of the Constitution, some white Americans believed Black people were inferior. They thought Black Americans should have remained enslaved, and some white people did not want Black people to use public places for their celebrations. In 1872, 4 men from the 3rd Ward, a Black neighborhood in Houston, Texas, had an idea. They pooled together money to buy a park to hold Juneteenth celebrations. They bought nearly 10 acres and opened the park every June to honor the end of slavery. They called it Emancipation Park. African Americans came together to celebrate emancipation in many ways. Emancipation celebrations happened throughout the country at different times. Remember that enslaved people were freed at different times throughout the Civil War. Some people celebrated on January 1st because that was when Emancipation Proclamation went into effect. Black people went to church on December 31st and waited for the clock to strike midnight. They called these gatherings watch night services. African Americans in Richmond, Virginia celebrated on April 3rd because that was when the Union Army entered Richmond. Remembering emancipation allowed African Americans to come together to reflect on their past. It also allowed them to celebrate their hard-earned freedom and create new traditions. Thank you for joining us tonight, and don't forget to watch us next time. Until then, let's read Mobile.